Sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Whenever you encounter something new, first reaction is Ashcharya, wonderment. First time when you see something. Like first time when I took Purni to theatre, I waited till the movie starts. Dawn. Shah Rukh Khan Dawn. Amitabh Bachchan. Dawn. After the movie started, names and not so the lights all off, everything is off, pitch darkness. So we took her inside. She screamed, "Evlo periya TV?" She thought that screen to be a TV actually. Wonderment. The first reaction, whenever you see something which is new, first time, anything you see first time, there is wonderment. Suppose after that wonderment, it doesn't stop at the stage of wonderment, then you start probing into it. This is where the difference between animals and humans are. Perception happens. But then humans cannot keep quiet with the perception. They probe into it. What is this? How is it? Like first time when they invented radio, people actually thought there is someone sitting inside. And some of them started claiming this is some devil. The fellow sitting, Ceylon, that fellow sitting, he is speaking, and you are hearing through this. They got scared. You probe, if you don't understand it, next reaction is fear. Right? So anything new, you feel that wonderment, Ashcharya. The Ashcharya leads to Bhaya, fear. Next stage. If you don't understand. If you understand, you dismiss is that and walk out. Very simple. Oh, that's all, is it? Okay. After that, there is no fear about it. The fear factor will not come. And what is interesting is, the moment you comprehend it, the Ashcharya factor also will go away. See, today you don't get that wonderment, no? In the small 80s, I remember this Star Stuck. It used to be one English series they used to show. Star Trek. Spaceship will go into some place and all, they'll go, they'll meet people, and they'll be talking to each other. And fellow will take a pen, like a thing, he will take a pen like thing and they will speak. He said, nah, not possible. Imagine we can also do like that. We are far more advanced today. They are able to have a video conference. Those fellows had only what? Audio. We have video conference. The moment you understand the science behind it, the principle behind it, the logic behind it, what is it? The wonderment factor will disappear. You will no longer have that wonderment. That's why we say, familiarity breeds contempt. Why? Once you get familiar, what happens? Those who are married for more than 25-30 years. I say 25-30 because mine is yet to reach there, so it's okay. After 35 years, you ask them, if you believe in next Janma, say, yes, I believe. Those who believe in next Janma will get married? Yes. Will you marry the same person? Say, sir, I am a fool. One fellow said, I am a fool. Say, why? You only say, no, fools learn through their own experience. From the experience I have learned, I will not repeat it. Once you get familiar, once you understand it, fear will not be there, but remember, along with that, wonderment also will disappear. Okay. Now that's what's happening to Arjuna in the 11th chapter, Vishwarupa. When he sees that Vishwarupa, first reaction of his is of Ashcharya, wonderment, which is natural. And then that wonderment leads to fear. And then that fear leads to surrender. This is what is happening to Arjuna in the 11th chapter, in effect. So he requested Krishna to show the form, and then Krishna shows the form. When he sees that form, that Vishwarupa, cosmic form, first is Ashcharya. He calls it as Vismaya. Ashcharya, wonderment. He's wonderstruck. And then that leads to Bhaya. Fear comes. Then that fear develops into Bhakti. Now remember, if you are not progressing in this fashion, if you try to jump directly from wonderment to Bhakti, it's like child without going through the phase of teenager becoming an adult. What will happen? What will happen? Mangoes, you see? The mangoes from that small size, at that time it would be bitter. This mangoes, what do they call it? It will be bitter. Then it will swell and grow. There it starts tasting sour. From bitterness, it will go to sour. And then it turns sweet. This is the progression of mangoes. I don't like sour, sir. I want to directly go from bitterness to sweetness. If that mango were to say, what do you call that? That's a reject. Sometimes you will find in the mango trees, few mangoes in that it's small, but it would have turned yellow. That's the indication. The mango is ripe. How do you know, sir? Whenever the skin from green it becomes yellow, we say it is ripe. Now this mango is showing yellow color. Therefore, is it a ripe mango? Say no. Why? Because it has not gone through the phases. Similarly, Bhakti also has to pass through these phases. Now today, all of us want to move directly from seeing God to jumping into the point of surrender. I am going to have Bhakti. Bypassing the phase of fear. It is not possible. If that were to be happening, please understand that is premature. Premature bhakti. Premature bhakti is more dangerous than being amateurish. Amateur is far, far superior to a premature because there is some utility for that. Can be used for something. Sour mango you can have with salt and pepper. Have salt and pepper and have it. And you can make urka with it. Pickle. The sour mango. With a premature mango, what you can do? Vedumbal. I don't know what you call it in Kannada. What is the word you use? Peach. I don't know in English. I know how many of you will know in English also. Whether they have a word for that in English? Scholar. Literature student is not here. MA literature. English one advantage, they'll create a word. Vedumbas. They'll convert that. No, loot. It's actually Hindi word. They've taken it as it is. It's been used in English. Loot. Fits perfectly, for them. I'm not saying, Shashi Tharoor says. So if he says, must be correct. Like that, Vedumbas. Shakespeare is supposed to have contributed by himself over 2,500 words to English on his own. New words. Let us also contribute. Yoga has become English word now. Isn't it? If the word appears in English dictionary, it is that word, no? Belongs to the language, right? Same thing. Premature is far more dangerous, remember that. That is why these phases are explained in the Shastra. This is not to criticize Arjuna. Arjuna is fearful. It's not. Mahabhava, mighty armed fellow. Parantapa says, scorcher of foes. You think he'll be scared? The scriptures, remember, gives us an objective presentation of the subjective phenomena. Right? What is happening internally is what is represented there, or what should be happening to a seeker in the formula of bhakti, in the development of bhakti. The first step is to wonder. Is there a wonderment when you see God? That is why we have all this jewels and this, so much of decoration we do to the deity. Why? Does he require all that? Huh? Srinivasa Brahman, does he require all that? All that crown and jewels and this diamonds, dazzling. Why do we do that? Whose money is this? What business he is running? He is not doing anything, simply standing. Because laddu also not his, recipe. Don't say Tirupati laddu is his, no sir. No, the recipe doesn't belong to him. It belongs to some family. Then why do you do all that alakar to him? Your mind will get the feel of wonderment when you see beauty there. That's the first step. That's why we spend so much. That is why in India, we never had this kings, palaces you see, versus the temples you see. Temples are more richer than the palace. coffers of temple and the coffers of the king. If you see, the king's coffer is nothing compared to what the temple had. Why they left everything in the temple? Safe place, sir. That's all your buddhi can think. The system is very clear here. Unless you see all that in one place, that feel of Ashcharya will not come. Therefore you do. Therefore we adore. We put everything there and adore. And don't stand with that adoration alone. If that adoration is not leading to fear, you have missed the step. And if you stay put, some of them will come up to the level of fear. Right? But then that surrender doesn't happen. The third step doesn't happen. The first step itself is so difficult. With so much of effort you have to reach the first step. Then tremendous courage is needed to jump into the second step. Third step of surrender demands the highest. Now we think bhakti is simple. In Kali Yuga, bhakti is the easiest form. It's told by a fellow who has never attempted to develop bhakti in him. It's like husband saying in the house, now cooking is a period difficulty. Try, no? Make idli one day, you will know how complex that dish is. Dosa. Can you get the circle proper? Forget about, all shapes you will get. Geometry, they'll go bizarre. Shapes are all new dimensions and shapes you get. Except circle, everything comes. Turn that. All that fellow, ask him to turn it. It's very easy to say. Dosa idli is very easy to make. Just 10 minutes. Until you attempt. Those who claim bhakti is easy have never attempted to enter into bhakti. Remember. It demands tremendous courage. That's why the Upanishads they claim. To non-courageous people, don't speak this philosophy. Don't speak to them. Don't talk to those people. Don't waste your time. Because it demands that courage. The steps is this. Arjuna is a courageous fellow. He passes through the steps. After passing through the steps, he was taught what is bhakti. So far I am not explaining what is bhakti. What is bhakti is coming in the 12th chapter only, not now. Right? Bhakti Yoga, exclusive chapter explaining what is bhakti. Now there we will explain. We will see how many shades of bhakti he is going to show and paint to us. It's unbelievable. A master stroke. Every word of 12th chapter is a stroke after stroke after stroke, like this painter, paint. It's forget about the painting. Have you seen any painter painting? Huh? Paintings you have seen. To me, the best aspect is because of painting, not the painting. The act of painting by Picasso is the best, not the painting. Painting is useless, that's lifeless. Now you think painting has life. There's no life in the painting, remember. It's the painter who is the act of painting. Stroke after stroke. The elegance with which he gives the strokes makes it amazing. Same way. See here, the 12th chapter we will see that. In the 11th chapter here, what's happening is this. So Krishna has shown the form First description we have seen. First description was given by Krishna himself, what he is going to show. Second description of Vishwarupa was given by Sanjaya. Sanjaya gave the account of Vishwarupa. Now Arjuna is giving the account of Vishwarupa. And so interesting, you will find all three giving three different picture. Krishna gives one picture, Sanjaya gives one picture, Arjuna gives one picture. Right. Now we are seeing what is the picturization, what Arjuna is seeing. Right. Up to 17. Arjuna has explained what he has seen. Now, from 18 onwards, he is giving us what is it that he is inferring from that. Right. First, Arjuna says what he is seeing. From what I am seeing, what I understand. That is the next step. Then the third step is, because of his understanding, his inference leads him to a particular emotion, which is fear in this case. So remember, first is what he is seeing, then what he understands from seeing. 3, he goes to how that perception and understanding together impacts him. Right. Then the development of that impact. This is the progression of the idea here. One is stuck with this. So till 25. So we have seen up to 17. So 13 onwards he started giving the picturization of what is he seeing. Now from 18 to 22, he is going to give what is his understanding of it. He is mixing that. Okay. So he understands certain things from that. Then he says what is happening to him. What is the impact of that on him. Right. Verse 18.
Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam Tvamasya vishvasya param nidhanam Tvamavyayah shashvata dharma gopta Sanatanastvam purusho mato me Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam Tvamasya vishvasya param nidhanam Tvamavyayah shashvata dharma gopta Sanatanastvam purusho mato me.
I consider you to be the imperishable, supreme to be known. Aksharam paramam veditavyam. You to be the ultimate abode of the universe. Vishvasya param nidhanam. You to be the immutable protector of eternal dharmas. Laws. You to be the ancient Purusha, being. What I understand you to be. He's simply repeating. Right? It's not his understanding as such. Right? It's like we also chant, no? Rudram, Chamakam, Purusha Sukta, all that. Do you understand? Fortunately, you don't. If you understand Rudra, nobody will chant. Every day I listen to Bhagavatgita. Do you understand Bhagavatgita? No, sir. Thank God you don't understand Bhagavatgita. If you understand bhagavadgita, you can't live in the house. Such powerful ideas. Rudra, the starting point. My first prostration to anger. First prostration to God's anger. Can you believe anyone starting like that? Which means what? God is full of what? My first prostration to you is your anger. What is God then? You don't ask all these quick questions. Therefore, Rudram, I'm just giving example, Rudram. Shiva, have you seen Shiva? The moment you think of Shiva, do you think of Shiva with Trishul or you think of Shiva with bow and arrow? Have you ever seen Shiva with bow and arrow? Veda gives, Rudram refers to him carrying bow and arrow. Don't shoot your arrow. Have you ever seen Shiva in any Purana used his Trishul to kill anyone? Any Purana? Any story where Shiva used his Trishul? His third eye also he has used. Opened his third eye, Tripura burnt. Manmada burnt. All that he has done with his third eye. Trishul, why is he carrying? Never used. Weird presentations. We don't think all these things, we don't see all those things. Of course, we don't understand the meaning first of all. Even if you understand the meaning, you should ask now, why? Then why he is carrying that? See, Saraswati, carrying Veena. You understand, yeah, correct. Playing music, or she is carrying, Japamala, or she is carrying books. We understand that, correct. Durga carrying all those 18 weapons. We understand, correct. Totapuri, that's what he said to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. I wanted to, he said, as long as you are stuck with this Kali and Mother and all that, you will never get realization. Useless. Ramakrishna said, please help me. He said, okay, I'll do one thing. You sit, close your eyes. Kali will come. Chop her head. What? Totapuri is telling Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, not to you, okay? This is for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. You are gossiping, overhearing, whatever conversation happened between those two. And this was reported by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known. Totapuri didn't say that. Ramakrishna told us later on. He said. Because every time he closes his eyes, Kali comes. You also close your eyes. I don't know what all comes. After reading that, I thought, oh, Avladana. The Gospel of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when I read that portion, I said, close your eyes, Kali will come. I said, but maybe it's so easy. She came, but then, straight I reached that maturity point. First step, third step, straight away, fear down. So scared. Amazing that was to see. That chopper head. When to chop? First time he failed. Second time attempted. Second time he said, okay, I am not able to do it. I'll give you indication. What I'll do is, he had a knife. With the knife, I'll make a mark on your forehead. I'll cut. You'll get the sensation. When I'm cutting here, you cut Kali. He said. He closed his eyes, opened his eyes. Done? No. Tatapari got so angry, he said, "Get out, I don't want to waste my time with you. I'm leaving." Ramakrishna pleaded him to help him. "Sir, my only problem is, you know what? You are carrying a knife in your hands with which you are cutting. There is a knife for me to cut her." It seems Tatapari gave a brilliant reply. 18 hands he had, no? One of the hands he had a knife, right? Take that from her and chop her head. Borrow from her. She'll give. Don't worry, ask her, she'll give. Weird fellows. And he is the greatest devotee of Kali. In the history. I'm not talking about, old, just a century back. Had a man who is the ultimate devotee. Can they have a conversation like that? It's impossible for us to believe it. The bhakti form that we carry, all that we do, the pujas and this and that, all that is what? Mechanical. We just do it. Same way, Arjuna is, rattling. Because he has heard all those things. Aksharam. Just, of course, in our class we have done this Akshara Brahma Yoga about, few years back. You would have forgotten there is a chapter, 8th chapter, called Akshara Brahma Yoga. So there he has heard this Akshara. So he says, imperishable. You are imperishable. It's so funny to hear this actually, from the mouth of Arjuna. You hear the same thing from Krishna. It is so inspiring. Arjuna says it looks funny. Depends on who says it. Paramam, supreme, to be known. Veditavyam. You are the one who is supposed to be known. Now, see, Arjuna says, his lips is saying what? You are imperishable. But his heart is saying what? I am imperishable. Isn't it? The ego is imperishable. See, to all of us, the ego never perishes, no? Sir, whatever we do, sir, ego doesn't go. Isn't it? This is the problem of every student. Every sadhak's problem is what? Sir, I am not able to overcome my ego is the problem of the sadhak. Which means what? To sadhak, the ego is, ignorance is imperishable. Whereas, his lips is saying what? You are imperishable. You are imperishable. You are supreme. You are supreme. Is God supreme or ego supreme? Huh? Who is great? See, the conviction that you have in the existence of ghost versus the conviction that you have about the existence of God. Where are you convinced more? Both you have not seen. Both are unknown. Right? There is no guarantee of the existence of both. But then, the conviction that we have on the existence of that, vis-a-vis God, the belief that you get, there is ghost when you are walking across, crematorium, particularly in the night. Her village is like that. You have to walk across. You have to cross that and go into. You need tremendous courage in the night to come. Even when I go, her father would come and wait with a cycle. Escort. Ghost no. The ghost comes in. You can chase them away. fascinating to see. There is darkness near crematorium. You feel comfortable? Vis-a-vis, in the temple, even if you are, do you see actually maybe Kapaleshwara is there actually? Maybe Srinivasa is actually standing. I'm sure, if not Kapaleshwara, at least all of you have been to Tirupati, no? Huh? Did you genuinely believe he is actually standing there? Looking at you? Because if you actually believe it, you will not go second time. Maybe he missed. Isn't it? Why do you have to go? Where are you convinced? You use words. Today, we are all becoming like Arjuna. We are very familiar with words of pedantic terminologies. But then, we don't understand the meaning of it. It says Aksharam, Paramam, Veditavyam, to be known. What is it to be known? You are the one who is supposed to be known, nothing else. But for all of us, who is going to win the match is more important. What is going to happen between Ukraine and Russia? That is far more important. What is going to be the stock market? That is what we are interested in. In the classroom setup, you will say, "Sir, we wanted to know what is there." Once I close the book, what is the case? That's the reality. This is what then? Is a good pastime. That's what he says. Devotion is not a part-time, pastime hobby. It's a full-time awareness of truth. You are the abode of everything. You are the ultimate abode of everything. From Nidana. Means what he is saying is, you are the bijam, you are the seed. You are the final abode in the sense, you are the seed. You are the one where you need to surrender. Like, we say this rope is the ultimate abode of the snake. Illusory snake that you have projected. Now, falsified, imaginary snake which is standing as though it is real because it is supported by the imperishable, supreme rope which is to be known. And that's what he is giving here. The protector of eternal dharmas. Ashvata dharma. Ashvata means eternal, always existing. Dharma, eternal dharma. Now he is saying, what does he do? First he stated what is he. Now he is moving on to the idea of what does he do? What is his job? He says, you are the protector. Now how does he protect? You protect through the eternal dharma. Eternal dharma means the laws. Eternal law. Eternal law means Sasvata dharma, or what we use as Sanatana dharma. Eternal. Eternal means what? No exceptions. That's the meaning of eternal dharma. No exception. No one is exempted here. Even if Ishvara himself were to take an avatar and come in, he has to function within the laws of this only. He can't escape. After this Mahabharata war, This Yadava clan, became supreme powerful. So powerful they became. No one could dispute them. Like Big Boss. Strong. No one could dispute. But the job of Krishna is what? He came into this world for what? To reduce the population. The population has increased so much. That's how in the beginning, if you remember, Krishna avatar before, Bhudevi goes to Vaikuntha. Says, earth has become too heavy for me, man. Help me. Just the population is not the problem. The problem is not just the number. Who is increasing matters. Like wealth is not the problem. Wealth is a blessing if it were to be in the hands of some. It's a curse if it were to be in the hands of the other. Wealth is not an issue. The problem is with whom it is. Same way. In the hands of the dharmic people, wealth is a blessing. In the hands of an adharmic, it's a curse. The problem is not the number. The problem is the adharmic has increased. So he has come. Who are those? All these fellows you want to chop off. So he has ensured all the Kshatriya kings, all those guys. Right. What is left out now? His clan is left out. Right. Yes. This also needs to be wiped. And whenever, Krishna wants to execute something, right, one fellow is there, his, representative is there, Durvasa. In heaven, he had Narada. Earth, he had Durvasa. Durvasa will appear. Durvasa comes. When Durvasa comes to Dwaraka, few fellows, want to play pranks with Durvasa. They made, a boy dressed himself as a girl, a pregnant lady, and went to Durvasa and fell at his feet and asked, will it be boy or girl? He'll give, delivery will happen. Is it boy or girl? You tell us. Durvasa he knows exactly what is his purpose. He said, you will get one pounding stick. Valakan. Pounding stick. Which they pound the grain. And the fellow delivered a pounding stick. These people got so scared. And straight they went to Balram. Balram is a very intelligent fellow. He said, pounding stick only, burn it. Take the ashes and put it in the middle of the ocean. That's it. Nothing will happen. And then they all came back. After some time, one day Krishna called those people and said, see, we have not had, a celebration for a long time. Party. Let's do party. Said, yes. Party, a Tirtha Yatra. A real party we had. Beachside party. Beachside party, what will you do? Drink and dance. All drunk. Drinking, all drunk. And suddenly there is a fight that happened amongst themselves. And around the beach side, they saw this, grass they have grown. And therefore took a bunch of grass and hit one guy. And the moment they plucked the grass turned into a pounding stick. No weapons were taken by these people. Because they are going for a party. Who will carry weapons? All left. Now they took this and started hitting each other, all died. What is that grass? The grass is nothing but the pounding stick which they have washed. That came with the waves and deposited itself here and grown as a grass there. And when that was coming, one piece of that metal was swallowed by a fish. A fisherman caught that. And he saw that metal piece, a sharp metal piece in the stomach of the fish. And he took the fish and threw that metal piece. A hunter saw that metal piece. He took that metal piece and said, wow, it's really sharp. I can use it to shoot. So he takes that metal piece with him and makes an arrow with that metal piece. And he takes that arrow and shoots when Krishna was lying down. Because all these guys are fighting, killing, everybody killed, and Krishna is sitting there watching. And anyone tries to escape, he is shooting from there. Bhagavatam says, I am not saying, it's there. Krishna immediately took his bow and arrow and stood on the top of the hill to ensure nobody is spared. If they don't fight among themselves and die, if they try to escape, he's shooting them from there. But no chance was given to Krishna. They themselves finished. Now he is relaxing. When he is relaxing, this fellow shoots that arrow. Have you ever heard a man dying by an arrow shooting, piercing his toe, big toe? Is it possible? Anthropology. Big toe. Because you can amputate. You can amputate the big toe, nothing will happen actually. The fellow will not die. Nobody will die because of a toe. A toe got crushed and the fellow died. Weirdest death in the history of great masters is Krishna's death. At least the death of Buddha and all, very, touching. That was, death of Rama, disappearance of Rama, all those people, everyone for that matter. It's very dramatic. This fellow's death is so innocuous. Now we ask, who is that hunter? The hunter was Vali in the previous Janma. Why? Because last Janma, Rama shot him behind the tree. For that, he has to pay the price now. What? Vali coming and shooting. And Krishna dying. I am not going into the death of Krishna, that's a separate analysis actually. But then, it's so interesting to observe at least. Eternal Dharma, we say, this is called eternal Dharma. No exceptions. Even if you are Krishna, you have to follow the things. But the tragedy, you know what? The ego always tries to break that law. That's not tragedy. You try to break the law. And in that attempt to break the law, you suffer. Because you cannot break it. It's not possible. You cannot escape. There is no exceptions here. That's why it is called the eternal law. Otherwise, it need not be eternal. It can be just a law. That's it. There is no eternity there. Eternity means it's not that always existing. It's not like that. It is equal to everyone. That's the meaning of Sanatana here. Eternal. Shashvata. Shashvata is the word he uses here. You to be the ancient Purusha. Upanishad gives a beautiful example. Ancient Purusha. The eternal. eternal Purusha. It seems there was a running race amongst the Devas, and Indra came first. Running race. Indra came first. And Indra got a shock because before him, Brahman was standing there. And then he ran back to collect his trophy. Brahman is standing there. Already there. So interesting how they connect. Indra means mind, thoughts. Indra means thoughts. All the devas were the various faculties. Like Surya, eyes. The power of seeing is Surya. The power of feeling is the moon, Chandra, etc. Various devas were given various presiding deities, various rules there, various positions there. Indra is the chief of all of them. What is the chief? Thought. The thoughts have the power to move. The fastest known to us is thought. But Brahman is even more than that. That's why he calls it as ancient. Sanatana Purusha. That's the meaning of ancient Purusha. 19.
Anadimadhyantamanantaviryam Anantabahum Shashisuryanetram Pashyami Tvam Deeptahutashavatram Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam Anadimadhyantamanantaviryam Anantabahum Shashisuryanetram Pashyami Tvam Deeptahutashavatram Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam.
I see you without beginning, middle or end, infinite in power, with endless arms, the sun and moon as your eyes, shining fire as mouth, heating this universe with your radiance. I don't know how you conceive of this. You cannot conceive. Don't try this visualization. Because I see you without beginning, middle, end. Any seeing is possible only with something. Either you should say I am seeing the beginning, or I am seeing the middle, I am seeing the end. Beginning illa, end illa. Which means what? There is no movie. Only screen is there. When you see a movie, either you are in the beginning of the movie, or you are in the middle of the movie, or you are in the climax of the movie. I am seeing the movie, but no beginning, no middle, no end. If someone were to say that to you, what is the reply of yours? You are seeing a blank screen there. That's what he is doing. But we get so inspired with that. What it means is it is all pervading, omnipresent. It's everywhere. Ananta Viryam. Viryam means the power. The power it has. The self has the power to enliven everything. So he's referring to that. The self that enables the body to act, the mind to feel, the intellect to think. That is Ananta Viryam. It's not just one body, one mind and one intellect. Various bodies, various minds, various intellects to operate. Various stages to do all that. What power it must be having. It's like we say, to light this room, what is electricity? Bulb. To light a stadium, to light a city, to light the whole globe. You know that the astronauts, they say, always the 50% of earth is in light, 50% of earth is in darkness. Always. It's amazing to see. All the time. 24/7. One half is lighted, one half is darkness. Infinite power. Sashi Surya Netru, moon and sun as eyes. You see pictures they do actually. One is sun, one is moon. Full moon or half moon are there. One is moon, one is sun. Pashyam. Utasha means the one who consumes anything that is given to him. Like a child, anything you give to it, first thing the child will do is put in the mouth. That's the way they learn. Kids, they put in the mouth. Anything that's given to the hands. Same way, there is one fellow who consumes anything you give, he will eat. That is fire. Right? That's what he is referring here. Deepta means the shining, the brilliance. The brilliance of the fire. From what he is doing, we derive a name for him. Shining fire as mouth. The radiance is heating up this universe. Giving life to the universe. Radiance is heating up the universe means it is the heat. That's how we identify a dead body and a chill gets. There's no warmth. It's the warmth that gives life. 20.
द्यावा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदम् लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन् द्यावा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदम् लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन्.
Heaven and earth, this interspace and all the quarters are indeed pervaded by you alone. Having seen this marvelous and awful form of yours, the triple world trembles, O Mahatman. Mahatma means the great soul. O Mahatma, O great. All the three worlds tremble looking at your awful form. Now here, why? Because he uses two things. One, he says, it is marvelous. It is adbhutam. Parallelly, it is ugram. It is this combination of beauty and ugram, this awful form. That combination people are not able to take simultaneously. have been like Shivaji Ganesan. A fellow, the only actor I have seen. He'll be crying and smiling. I don't know how he does that. Very rare to find, such fellows. He'll be laughing. Now you can't figure out whether is he crying or he is laughing. Not know. Very difficult to decipher. Krishna is like that maybe. Everywhere. Look in all directions. 360-degree turn. But wherever you see that disparity, and when you see that disparity together, that's the tragedy here. See, disparity, if you see at one point there, one point here. See, one day he is looking angry, one day he appears to be loving, very affectionate. It's very easy to deal with. See, that is normal human being. That's not Mahatma. See, Mahatma means with so much of anger, full of affection. How will you conceive it? How do you relate to that? See, the sheer disparity, we can't digest. That undigestibility of the disparity is what he is referring to as the three worlds tremble. What are they trembling about? Why there is fear? The fear is this disparity. Wherever there is two, me and other. Because Arjuna goes on describing, he has not stopped his description. You will see him describing more about what he is seeing, what he is seeing, what he is seeing. He will see so many things except Arjuna. You see that? The description, the best part of Arjuna's description is, he gives so much of detail. Krishna description doesn't have detail. Sanjaya description doesn't have so much of detail. Whereas Arjuna's description of the cosmic form is detailed a lot, but then he excludes himself from the cosmic form. Since he is excluding himself from the cosmic form, there is a difference gets created. You are different from me. Once the difference gets created, there is fear. Sir, wherever there is difference, will there be fear? Not necessarily. Remember, that's not enough. When your boss walks into the room, there is fear, right? When my boss walks, I get fear. I don't know about you people. You may wonder, who is your boss? You will know. Whereas a maid walks, there is no oneness, no? Don't say I have oneness with maid. See, the otherness were to be there. If you were to see the other to be superior, then fear. Mark this. This is a very important class. If the other person is not superior, or if you consider them to be equal or inferior to you, of course, equal you will never find. Impossible. In the world, you have only two sets of people, who you consider superior to you, who you consider inferior to you. None of us will claim they are equal to me. Interview. The interview you will say all that. And someone were to ask. Everyone contributed. It's a teamwork. Not talking. Then pay salary equal, not everyone. My payment will be slightly more than. Internally, you can never see everyone's contribution as equal. If you say that, you are lying, because you can't feel that. You will always feel someone's contribution is more than yours, or someone's contribution is less than yours, but never equal to you. So wherever you see someone who is superior, what happens? There is otherness coupled with this superior person, instantly, for all of us, what? Fear. Why that fear? In Vedanta, we give answer and then ask question. No? Not like other subjects. Other subjects, answer will come later. After question, answer will come. Vedanta, we give answer first. The otherness is there, but otherness is not causing fear everywhere, sir. If you observe carefully, we'll do little analysis on fear now, okay, as we go. One is, we'll say, sir, otherness, because Arjuna is not including himself in the vision. He is excluding himself. Since he has excluded himself, he is separate from that. Since he has separated from that, there is fear. Otherness causes fear. Very simple that is. But then, does all otherness cause fear? No, that's not our experience. Because I don't see me and my driver are same. But there's no fear. Suppose if you say, sir, I am very scared of my driver. May God be with you. Nothing can be done. Only when you see. Now, factually, if you analyze carefully, if someone is superior to you, should you adore that person, admire that person, or get scared of that person? Think carefully. Einstein is superior to you. Do you fear Einstein or you admire Einstein? Huh? Admire, no? Ratan Tata's is richer than you. In fact, all of us put together. Far, far richer than you. Do you admire him or you feel jealous? Admire him. Correct? So, if somebody is superior in terms of intelligence, in terms of Aishwarya Rai, you look at Aishwarya Rai and admire her, or you feel jealous of her? You don't feel jealous, you admire. Wow. Even after this, desire her, that's a different one. You can keep desiring. But you admire. Now, if someone is really superior to you, you feel admiration. If God is the ultimate superior, then should you feel admiration or you should get fear? But we do experience fear. God, actual representation is Guru. Right? God in form, relatable form is Guru. Do you admire Guru or you admire God or you fear Guru? There is an element of fear, no? You stand, at least. In front of Guru, there is an element of fear. From where this fear comes? Sir, if superiority is the only reason for us to feel fear, then we should be feeling jealousy with Einstein, jealousy with this one, fear with this one. We are not doing all that. All in those places we are admiring them. Extremely powerful, sir. Admire their power. Mike Tyson, the power. One punch, a bison will fall. Now power, sir. See, Bahubali, the fellow carries a Shivalingam. One cylinder you can't lift. Huh? You keep rolling. No, rolling and taking, no? Why can't you just lift it and walk? And then massaging has to be given for 5 hours. Why there is fear? It is not just this. Remember, God fearing or Guru fearing has one unique property. Unless you capture that uniqueness, you will not grow out of it. You cannot even understand what's happening. That's why we are spending time. That's the purpose of class. Otherwise, what is it? So read the verse and understand what is he saying. Heaven and earth, interspace, all that quarters pervaded by you alone. Yeah, all pervading. Okay, next. Having seen the marvelous and awful form, yours temple. Obviously, when you see something like that, you'll get scared only, no? Imagine suddenly, dinosaur. 10 dinosaurs surrounding you. You say hi. You get scared, no? Maybe like that. No. This fear is a unique fear. Fear of God is different from fear of a ghost. Even though we use the same word fear, the backdrop is very different. The expression may be the same. You're trembling. Externally, it will look the same thing. You will be trembling. Your palms will be sweat. You'll get sweat. Words will not come. I'm so eloquent. Give me a lecture. I can go on talking. I will not get bored. The moment I see my Guru, even if you ask, what's your name now, only air will come. Even now. Yes. Okay, initially it's okay. After 30 years also, he says, are you mad? Sometimes he'll say, mad fellows you are. What is it? Now, unless you understand that, you cannot understand the dynamics of what's happening to Arjuna. Through understanding of what's happening to Arjuna, you can understand what's happening to you. Why you fear God or why you fear Guru, that's easy. God is far difficult because you don't see. You don't believe in actual, Srinivasa standing there. So there's no point in talking about that. This is easier to understand. That's why we call him as Pratiksha. There you go. Guru is treated as visible God, perceptible God. Who is Guru? You see. Why? Because he represents it. All the properties there is available here. In fact, slightly more, according to me. Between God and Guru is slightly better. But then, here, because the fear here is nothing to do with he being superior. It's not the superiority of God. It's not the superiority of Guru. It's not the bigness. It's not that he is great. It's not the greatness of him. Then what causes is his presence will expose yourself to yourself. Adhaan prachana. You are exposed to others very easily. That is, you can easily defend yourself. But when you are exposed to yourself, how will you defend? There's no defense possibility. You have to accept. And all your limitations, all your ego, all your attachments, all your desires and your stupidities gets exposed. It just exposes. All your defects gets exposed to you. And the fear is not from him. The fear is from the defect. The presence of the defect is what is causing that fear. Any defect. The defect can be anything. So, otherness causing fear in this context. In this context, the fear is not just any otherness, sir. Otherness needs to be analyzed further. Then we come to a point where does all superior lead to that, sir? No, no, no. It's not even superior. Then what is it? If a person is actually superior, you should admire them. Why do you fear them? But then you cannot admire Guru. That is why most of us prefer to maintain a reasonable distance from a Guru. All of us use Guru. God is only like how we use this campfire. The campfire, they have. Winter, you go night, you go to a campfire and sit around it. Very warm it is, nice it is, very cozy, very comfortable. How? Distance about 10 feet. If you take 20 feet, you are stuck by the cold. It's too much to take. You go near that fire, what happens? Starts burning. So what do we do? Good distance. You are there, I am here. You are Guru, I am disciple. I fall at your feet and go, that's it. Safe distance. As long as you are maintaining that safe distance, you are comfortable. But the moment you want to go little closer, what happens? You can't take the heat. That's what he said in the previous verse, that radiance. You can't digest that radiance. What is the radiance? What is the tejas? Exposure. He simply exposes your defects to yourself. Not voluntarily. He's not immediately going to tell, hey, what did you do? This is not correct. That is not. He's not going to say anything. In fact, he doesn't even register your presence. We all believe he is registering. Some of us, when he used to come here for the lectures, many have told me this. What is this? I am doing pranams, he is not even registering. They will keep doing pranams. He will be talking. What is happening? This. They will keep doing pranams. We will tell them, keep doing. He won't even register. They get angry. I am doing pranams. Pranams itself is what? Means I am putting my ego down. That's the meaning of prostration. And the fellow gets up and asks, I am doing pranams, and he is not even looking at me. That's why in Tirupati they closed his eyes. I am coming, you are not looking at me. My God. That's why in Tirupati he said, close the eyes. He won't even look at you. You are disgusting. That's what he says. Won't look at you, I get disgusted. What is disgusting? Is there a possibility for such a thing for them? That what is he saying? What is he doing? In their presence, it gets exposed. That's the problem, he says. That trembles. Why this? All the three words, he says, everybody trembles. Everyone feels uncomfortable. If you say that I am very comfortable in the presence of Guru, the meaning is what? What does it mean? Either you are switched off or you have become a Guru. Only two chances. Either you should have been completely neutralized to his presence. That's why you can have a You can just talk. You don't treat him as a guru. You can have a conversation. There's no problem. But if you treat a person to be a guru, after that you cannot have a normal conversation. It's not possible. You cannot have. You can never have. I have never seen anyone having a normal conversation with their gurus. Impossible. Either will be silent or fumbling. Even to a normal conversation, they fumble. The fumbling is why? It's got nothing to do with the other person. It's not that somebody is great or anything. It's not the greatness of the other person. It is the bhavana of this person. It is my bhavana. That is what Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam he said in the second chapter. Arjuna has established his position very clearly. Take me as your Shishya and instruct me. Not as a friend, not as a Saka, not as a king, not as a relative. Take me as your student. So his bhava is what? A Shishya bhava. When he is approaching Krishna with that Shishya bhava, it is not possible for him to have it. And now he has started seeing that growing in that Shishya bhava more and more. That's why if you see, chart down all the questions asked by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Right? The question that he asked in the second chapter, third chapter, fifth chapter, 8th chapter, 13th chapter, you will see a distinct difference in his languaging. The whole languaging you will find a transformation. See, what is it? He is grounding himself in that Shishya Bhava more and more. Now Arjuna is well established in that Shishya Bhava. There, it is impossible for a student. You can have the oneness with everyone in the world, but not with your Guru. Even if you realize the self, even those who have attained realization never treat them and their Guru same. They always say, my Guru is superior to me. But to you, everything is Brahman, no? I am also Brahman, he is also Brahman, but then that Brahman is superior Brahman. Brahman senior, I am Brahman junior. It's impossible for them to have that oneness there. So never expect. That is why Arjuna has not included himself in this one. Now I am finishing the circle. Reasoning is over. We started by what? We started with the observation of what? Arjuna did not include himself. Now we understand why he has not included himself. So firstly, this is how reasoning is done. That's how study to be done. See, how we do is like this. Why he has not included himself? Taka, we go various steps. And finally we come to a point and say, why he has not included himself? Because he is treating himself to be Shishya. A Shishya can never include himself. Since he could not include himself, he cannot escape from the idea of fear. He cannot escape. If a fellow says, I am never having fear, I don't have any fear of God, that means he has never been a Shishya in his life. He has never been a seeker. He is not a devotee at all. I am having only fear, something wrong. See, only fear is also wrong. No fear is also wrong. There is a flavor of fear also, which is essential in the path of bhakti. From chapter 7 to 12. The accent is more on bhakti. Remember that. Whenever you are reading these chapters, remember the accent is slowly shifting to the feel factor bhakti. So various shades were given here. So one of the things that is explained in the 11th chapter, factoring, is the progression of it and how it is. So this is one shade of fear. The fear that Arjuna is experiencing, one shade is this. There are many shades for fear itself in the 11th chapter. Amazing chapter. That's why this chapter is of course, every chapter we'll say, except the first chapter. In fact, first chapter is a very interesting one. But then that interesting is very different, but not in terms of, philosophy or, spiritual in that aspect. But psychologically, there's a lot of points we have from the first chapter. But other chapters you see, the fact, the shades that is provided. In Karma Yoga, you don't find much of shades. Very ordinary. It's so colorful. You see, we are discussing only one bhavana here. Bhakti bhavana is the only bhavana we are discussing in this 6 chapters. How many shades he is giving in that? Like if you see, in the jungle when you travel in the forest, all leaves in the trees, green only. Isn't it? All green. But no tree has the same shade of green. How many shades of green? It's all green. But in that, so much is there. Oh my God, unbelievable. What is so interesting is we are able to register all that. Imagine we can see only ultraviolet ray, nothing else. There is no fun at all actually. We are able to see that shades of same bhavana. That shows the depth of these masters, how much they have gone into the depth to understand what it is. Otherwise, they can't paint that much of shades. They give 1-2 paintings and go away. This shows that. Understand why Arjuna is excluding himself in the picturization of, in depicting